Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we're looking at set 60227, the Lunar Space Station. In fact, we're looking at two of them. Right, I've built the first one of the two sets. So as I said, this is set 60227, Lunar Space Station. It has 412 pieces, and it's from this year, 2019. And retailed for £45 or $60. Now I really like this set. As soon as I saw it, I just knew I was going to get one. And then when I learnt more about it and realised that it's pretty modular, all these little bits being able to come off and be combined in different ways, I thought that I may as well get two to make it even better. I think you'll agree that it looks very much like the International Space Station, with the fact that it's sort of got this modular setup so each nation can build one segment and them all fit together, but also because it's got this lovely solar panel array like the ISS does. So I'm going to give a very quick tour just because there are other reviews out there and I'm not really into spending time doing reviews on sets, but we've got a little sort of shuttle with one cosmonaut in it in orange. There's a little hatch here for putting stuff in, though it's not big enough to fit the robot in, sadly, and that sort of loosely holds on to the inside of the airlock door, so that's really nice. Now I probably won't need two of those, so I don't know what I'll do with the second one from the second set, but nonetheless that's very neat. But I think it does look best kind of plugged in, to be honest, but I'll take it off for now. So then we've got the airlock section, which is a very realistic door on it, and I've put on, I'm just going to take off some of these securing pieces so I can take off each module and show you it in turn. I've put the little robot, who's rather cute with his little jets on his back, I think, and the astronaut figure with his spanner doing some work on the outside, doing a spacewalk. And then this one is the kitchen. There's a computer screen there and a pizza oven, and for some reason there's a disc shooter, so you can absolutely catapult your pizza out. Why you need to do that, I've got absolutely no idea, but nonetheless. And a couple of tools in there, so that's a nice long kitchen section. Then we've got two more smaller sections. One is a bedroom with a bed on a wall, because obviously it's zero gravity, so walls are pretty much the same as floor and ceiling. So I'm glad they did that. And he's on a running machine with a window in front of him and some screens there. I like the way they all separate very easily as well. So if that's sort of rest and relaxation, this is work. Here we've got somebody analysing a rock, and there's the light brick. So you can shine that through. And that's one of the new geode pieces in what looks like dark orange colour with a light trans blue interior. And there's also a microscope there and a computer monitor there as well, and there. So very high tech. But I think the best bit of all, from the looks perspective, is the solar panel array out the back. And it also has the ability for this, I've broken the wrong place, for this part to pop off and arguably be launched as a satellite, which is quite fun. But I think I'll leave it on there because I've already got a few satellites, including the one that I just made on that bricks and pieces order from another set, but modified using these solar panels. And I think that just looks great, these stickers, and the way they reflect the light and everything, I think it's just fantastic. So, there's a brief tour. I will get on with making the second one, and then we can have fun combining them together. And this is the second space station set. Having built the first one, I noticed a few things that I thought I might want to amend when I did the second one, because I don't want a complete duplication of it, because that wouldn't make much sense, having two identical versions of everything. So I've made some changes. I'm going to run through those with you. So the first thing I've done is with the longer section that was originally a kitchen, and I've just not put any of that kitchen interior in. In fact, instead of having windows only on one side, like the original, with the play feature on the other side, I've put windows on both sides because I want this one to represent an airlock. And this one will be the one that links to the spacecraft, the supply craft, and then to the main body of the space station. So I've put a man suiting up in his astronaut suit so he can go for a spacewalk. And that's all that's in that one, because there's no point having two kitchens. They definitely wouldn't do that on such a small ship. Now, with that in mind, I need to make some amendments to the original. I'm going to remove the airlock door because we don't need two airlocks. And put those to one side. I'm also going to make another change, which is to remove these tools, which are now in the kitchen, and I don't think they belong there particularly. So I'm just going to take out the tools and those modified bricks, put those to one side, and just replace that with a 1x2 white brick. So that just makes the kitchen a bit more simple, but it also means there's something slightly different between this kitchen and this, which will have the tool rack on the inside, which makes more sense where you're grabbing them on your way out. So they're my two long sections. Next up is the sleeping quarters. Now, on the new one, what I've done is mirrored the original, because I think there'd be two of these off the main corridor perhaps, and they would be doing the same thing but wouldn't look identical. And one's using a running machine and one's actually asleep. But with a crew of 4, because you get 2 internal crew on each set, you'd need at least 2 beds so half of them could sleep at any one time. And they'd probably share bedding because, you know, there's very limited space. So that's mostly the same. The one thing I have changed is the fact that this lovely orange stripe that goes around all of these segments at the same level actually turns to dark bluish grey on the end of this one. And I changed it to orange, and I think it looks a lot better. So I've got another 1x6 orange plate to do the same in here, and it has no effect on the inside. The other thing I changed was the bed. The way they've done it with these green sheets, if I can pull this out, not making too much damage, but when somebody's on it, you can see they're actually held a bit higher than the pillow even, just because of these studs on this 2x3 green plate. So on the one that I'm not going to have in use, I'm just going to put a 2x4 tile on, just so it looks more like a made up bed. Great. I'll add this in. Next in line is the lab, or the working area. And again, if I compare the new one with the first one, I've mirrored the working areas just so they can be on opposing sides of the corridor and look symmetrical and so on. And you'll see that one's got the dark orange geo pieces in it, and this I've put some of the dark bluish grey ones with the green interior. And they've obviously both got a light brick that can shine through those geo pieces. Otherwise they're the same. They've even got the same astronaut in there. I'll have to change the hair pieces and so on later. Now the only change I've made on here is again with the orange stripe, in that I've made that central piece orange where it was grey before. Again, it makes no difference to the inside, so I'll get on and do that. Alright, next is the middle section. So I'm going to keep one of these relatively unchanged. In fact, all I'm going to do on that is add a couple more of these orange lights to the bottom. It's got two, and for some reason I'm addicted to symmetry, so I much prefer that. So that one's done. This one, I need to make this into a sort of like a T-junction piece. I need to make it into a cross section. So the way I'm going to do that is just by removing all of that. And this I got on the last brick haul, as you'll remember. So I can just pop that there. I think I'll take all this off. I may put some of that back on. I might put on a bigger dish or something like that. And this one also needs two more orange lights. And now we've got a crossroads type central piece. And the last element is the solar array. Now, if you've seen the ISS, the International Space Station, it's got absolutely loads of solar panels, not just 4. So I was thinking of combining these to make some sort of mega array. Now, I think what I'll do is take off the 4 solar panels off this one. Don't think I'll need any of that. I won't need the connector. Don't think I'll need that either. And I think I'll just push everything down a bit. So what I mean by that is I'll keep this end right, but then I'll have a 2x2 brick, another pair of the Technic ones, another 2x2 black brick, another pair of the Technic ones. Pop these back on to secure it. 1, 2. Then we'll have the 2x3 and a connector for putting those back on. I only needed to add one of those grey bricks and the 2 black 2x2s. Now oh yes. Let's get these all angled the same. I've got a massive array with 8 solar panels on it. Look at that. Oh yes, I like that. And while we're here, I think I can use some of these pieces. If I take this dish and just add it to a little setup like this on a turntable, there's a bit of a retro 1x2 tile there, 1x2 jumper, white tap piece and a white claw piece, a light grey claw piece. I could put that spare dish on there to make another dish. And how about putting that on the crossroads bit of corridor? Well, it's just popped off. Let's see if I can pop that back on. There. Looks like quite a good communication satellite. I might be able to do better than that, but it's a good start. Right, let's combine all these bits to make our massive space station. So we need that to go in there. Then what did we need? We needed the kitchen corridor, then the crossroads piece, then the airlock. Oh, it's getting big already. Then we'll put what? The 2 bedrooms of this corridor. Put them at the end so it's nice and quiet. And then the 2 labs. Off there. And there is, it'll need securing with the pieces that come with the set, but there is our extended space station. So it's just a 2x2 slope and a 2x2 inverted slope on the underside to secure all these. Oh, we can even add our supply craft. At that end. Ho ho! Not even enough room to show you. Brilliant. Now what I think is still a bit unrealistic is the fact that this is supposed to be an airlock, but as soon as he opened the door on this side, assuming he was going outside, all the air gets sucked out and everyone would not be very well all of a sudden. So really we need a second door here for it to work properly as an airlock. So I'm going to set about doing that. Put all this to one side. So let's take the lid off and the man out. And take this end off. And lift up each of those. So on this side I'm going to take out the 2x2 slope and add in 1x2 slope, a 1x1 brick with a grabber. That's what I got from the other half, just so it looks a bit less interfered with. Cheese wedge slope in orange. I'm going to put those back on. On the other side, I'm going to take one of those off. I'm going to put in a corner brick 2x2 and then a headlight brick 1x1 with an orange 1x1 round tile to act as a stopper on that side. Then I'm going to take off one of these 1x2 in orange and replace it with another grabber and a 1x1 tile, plate rather. Now I'm going to need to replace one of these arches with a brick, otherwise air will still be able to get out. Put the door back on, put that lid back on, and then we can get the spare door that we had. Remember this? If I take this off, just move this a bit more centrally, put the steering wheel piece back on, then I can put this inside, and look, can't see in. It's an airlock, and it opens like that inside. You'd have to squeeze in the corner to be able to let it pass, but it's a lot more realistic than what we had. There's also the tiniest air gap along there, but nonetheless it's Lego, not real life. So I think that is a really big improvement, and most of it was bits from this set. Awesome. So here is this fantastic double set all together. Got the two light bricks lighting up the insides, which is quite good fun, which isn't showing up a great deal with my camera lighting. This huge solar array, this new dish, which I think actually does work rather well. Looks a bit feeble, but it's in space, so that's all right. The only thing really remains is to mount this to my ceiling. Now I mount all my space things, like the satellite I made in my last brick haul, on the ceiling, and in order to do that I need to use some command strips, and I'm going to use this size, which are stabilizer strips. I'll get out a pair of those. They're kind of Velcro strips that will stick things to your ceiling. It's going to Velcro between the two parts. One bit gets stuck to the ceiling and is removable, and the other bit gets stuck to some bricks. Now I'm going to use some inverted tile pieces stuck to 2x4s. So you get 2 of those onto one of those. Stick on the command strip, and then that can go on the ceiling, and this, well, quite a few of them, 6 I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can fit on the underside of each of these units, and I think 6 will be plenty to hold it all up. Now unfortunately I haven't got 6 of these, so I won't be able to mount it to my ceiling today. I'll have to show you that in a future video, but hopefully this magnificent beast is enough for one video. I'm not going to add the robot I made in my last brick haul, just because I think he'll be better in my space building on terra firma. But I've just got a couple more amendments that I got from my brick haul, which was this, just to be a light for my astronaut. That looks good. And just so he's powered as well, like the robot is, thought I'd add a couple of trans orange cones, just to give him a bit of an action feature. I'll put him back on doing his important work on the roof. Right, so I think I'm going to call it a day there. I'll have to obviously give an update on this when it is mounted to my ceiling, because it's going to look impressive, isn't it? It's huge. Well, I think that was a rather special combination of 2 sets into one. Thank you for watching. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And next time I think we'll be heading back to the marina. I was supposed to be doing that this video, but obviously this took precedence. See you next time!